Hi guys, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm Kishore and I'm going to solve an arrow Sudoku today for you guys. This Sudoku was created by Pjot RV and the Sudoku has been taken from the CTC Discord server. We had an arrow puzzle on the channel yesterday and today there is an arrow Sudoku. So if you want to try to solve this Sudoku yourself, the link to solve is given in the description of the video. Seems to be a really interesting Sudoku. So let us move on to the rules of the Sudoku now. Classic rules apply. Each row, column and box will have digits from 1 to 9 without repetitions. And then there are arrows given in the grid, as you can see. The digit in the circle will be the sum of the digits along the arrow stem. And digits may repeat along the arrow stem provided the classic rules are not violated. So for example, uh, okay, there is no such arrow stem here which can take repeating digits. So, but normally in arrow Sudoku, digits may repeat on the stem. There is no problem with that. So, we'll start solving the Sudoku now. And before that, as usual, if you guys haven't hit the subscribe button below, please subscribe to the channel. We'll really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. So, let us start the Sudoku now. Okay, the start is apparently these arrows, as you can see clearly. The minimum sum from these three cells is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3. So this is minimum 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And same here, three stems, three cells, minimum sum is 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9. And similarly, the minimum digit here is going to be 6 and maximum is 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9. And same here in this column 8. So minimum sum is 6. So I'll just write the possibilities there. Actually, the Sudoku seems to be having very less arrows, but yet it's surprising that with this givens and a clueless arrow, in fact, there is no given digit that the Sudoku has a unique solution. Really interesting. So we have an almost quadruple in column 4, but an almost quadruple is of no help. We don't have any more circles that are really interesting to us. All these circles, if you see, everything the author has carefully designed in such a way that all these circles are only having two cells in the stem of the arrow. So you can't get any information from that. So let us try combining arrows and see if that is of help. So if I try to combine these two circles, I know that the maximum sum from these circles is going to be 8 plus 9, which is 17. And I have 5 cells together which are going from these two circles. So basically the sum of these 5 digits in these arrows is going to be the sum of these two digits, right? And I also know that the maximum sum is 17. And if you sum all the digits in these arrow and substitute them with minimum digits, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will get that the minimum sum is going to be 15. So the maximum is 17 and minimum is 15. So which means that this circle as well should contain 6, 7, 8, 9. If you have anything less than 6, you won't reach a total of 15. And we established that the minimum sum from these 5 digits is going to be 15, right? Sum of 1 to 5. And the same idea you can use here, guys. Exactly the same idea. You have 5 cells originating from these two circles, which means that the minimum sum from these 5 cells is 15, and maximum sum I know from these two cells using classic is 8 plus 9, so which means that's 17. So which means this also has to take 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that's as far as I can go with the help of these. There doesn't seem to be anything really. Okay, one thing we can do here is I know that the minimum sum of these 5 cells is 15 and maximum 17. So which means that these 5 cells will either add up to 15, 16 or 17. Only 3 possibilities totally. So and whichever is the possibility, one thing you can deduce is that there must be 1, 2 and 3. Oops. I have marked one other cell additionally. 1, 2 and 3 must be in these three cells, guys, because if you try to get the minimum sum without using any of these digits, you'll land up with a total which is greater than 17. So let us, for example, check what is the minimum sum without the 3. So 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which gives you uh, 15 plus 3, which is 18. So which means that you can be certain that 1, 2 and 3 will be in these 5 cells, right? That is for certain. And the same idea I can use in the bottom two arrows also. That's basically the same idea. 1, 2 and 3 must be here. So this is something which you can extract from the Sudoku at this point. But is this going to help us? That we have to see. Okay, one other thing you can reduce is if by chance one of these circles is a 6, then the other circle would definitely be a 9 because the minimum total from those two circles is 15. So if one of them happens to be a 6, the other has to be a 9. So something we may remember for the future. Okay, so I can do something on this cell. I know that 1, 2 and 3 are already eliminated. So the minimum possible digit that is going to go here is a 4. And because this is a, let me use a corner pencil mark. And because this is a 3 cell arrow, I know that the maximum can only be a 6, right? If you have anything more than 6, then this arrow is going to get violated. So the only possibilities here are going to be 4, 5 and 6. So I can just replace them using corner pencil mark 4, 5, 6. Okay. And now this gives me some progress in these two cells if I'm not wrong. So none of these two cells can take a 4. Because even if one of these cells is a 4, you get minimum 5 here, and 4 plus 5 is already 9, and you will have one more extra cell, and you can never satisfy this total. It will be more than 9. So which means maximum possible value from these two cells, or rather maximum possible value in each of these cells is a 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, and that has to be 1, 2 and 3. And now minimum total from these cells is 4, 1 and 2, which is 7. So 6 can't go here. So that's 7, 8 and 9. Okay, this is interesting, guys. Am I seeing something here? This is a 16. 15. Be 6 and 9. That has to be 7, 8. Okay. Okay. So what I'm seeing is that we know that these two circles combined together have some possibilities 15, 16 and 17. You can straight away eliminate 16 as possibility, guys, because if these two digits add up to 16, then we know that these two cells will take 7 and 9, right? And there is only one possibility to get to 16 with 5 digits, and that is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6. No other possibility. And when you have that, you need to have 7 and 9 in this row, right? 7, 9, 9 obviously can't go here. And because these cells are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 and 9 would have to be here in these two cells. But this is already 4, 5, 6, which means that you cannot have 16 from these 5 cells. That's nice. So we have only two options now, 15 or 17. If we can eliminate one of those some possibilities, we are going to get a lot of progress, guys. Let me try. 15, if we have 15, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the sum will be 6 and 9 or 7 and 8. 7 and 8 won't be possible because you can't place 7, 8 here, so that's a 6 and that's a 9. Okay, if it is a 17, both of these would be 8 and 9. Oh, this is awesome, guys. Really awesome. Superb. Now we already eliminated 16 as a possibility, some possibility. Can it be 17? If you have 17 here, then these two cells will take 8 and 9. Only possible way to get 17. And now where can you have 8 and 9 in this row? Obviously, these 5 cells cannot take 8 and 9. No way they can take 8 and 9, right? If you have 8 or 9, the sum gets huge. And now we need to place 8, 9 in this row. Can't be going here. So they would have to go in this cell, but this cell max is 6. So it's not even 17, it can only be 15. Superb, guys. What a break-in. We got break-in after 10 minutes. Really superb. So this is not 8 and 9. This has to be 15, which means that these 5 cells, you can blindly write now, have to be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Superb. So this adds up to 15. And now this is not 4 or 5 because you have a pentuple here. That becomes a 6. And the moment that becomes 6, these two cells can max sum up to 3 because otherwise you can't satisfy this circle. So you can't have 3 there. This has to be 1 and 2 and that becomes a 9. Fantastic start, guys. I love the start really. And now we can write the remaining pencil marks in row 6. They become 7, 8 and 9. You have 1, 2 here, so that's not 1 and 2, that's 3, 4 and 5. Okay, we know that these two cells add up to 15. They cannot be 7 plus 8. 15 is either 6 plus 9 or 7 plus 8, right? 7 plus 8 is ruled out because then both of these cells would be a 9. So which means that this is 6 and 9. The moment you write 6 and 9 here, this becomes 7, 8. That has to be a 9. Beautiful. Really nice. So which means that 9 goes in these 3 cells. Wow, you have a quad here, guys. Superb. 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. Is that helping us? We don't have any other circles along that column. That will restrict the possibilities of sum there. Okay, you have a 6, 9 here, you have a 6, 9 here, which means in row 4, I get my 6, 9 in these cells, and a 9 can never be in the arrow stem and until or unless it is a single cell arrow. So what are we supposed to see next? Okay, a small thing. So you cannot have 3 in these two cells, guys, because if you have a 3, then you can never get to 6 or 9 because 3 to get to 6 will require another 3, and to get to 9 it would have 3 plus 6, but 6 is already outside, so 3 is not going to be here. So 3 is in one of these 3 cells. A small thing, but it may help in the solve, not sure. Okay, this row is suddenly appearing interesting to me because you have a quadruple here. Is this row going to give us progress? So let us try the same thing we did here. Can we have a 17 here? This would be 8 and 9. And 8, 9 in this row has to go here and here. Oh, that's not possible. That is not possible. Superb. So again, we know that these two cells can add up to 15, 16 or 17. Those are the only possibilities because sum of these 5 cells is minimum 15 and the sum of these two circles is maximum 17, and both of them are connected. So they basically have the same property. So you cannot have 17 from these cells because that gives you 8, 9 in these cells, and now 8, 9 in row 7 has to be going here. So this would become a 9 and that would become an 8. This in normal course wouldn't have create a trouble. But because this is in an arrow, when 8 becomes part of the arrow, this has to be a 9. But we already have the 9 here, right? So this cannot happen. Superb, guys. So which means that this is not a 17. So it's 15 or 16. Okay, if it is 15 or 16, I'm certain that 4 also needs to be part of this sum, right? If you don't have a 4, the minimum total becomes 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, which is 17. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 has to be part of the arrow. Can I eliminate one more sum possibility, guys? I think that would be the break into the Sudoku really, because we'll get a lot of digits after that. So if it is a 16, this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 7, 9, which means that's a 9 and that's a 7. That would be 1 and that would be 8. And I don't see any immediate contradiction there. Tricky here, guys, tricky. Can this be? Okay, if these two cells add up to 15, they must be 6 and 9 or 7 and 8. And if they add up to 16, they must be 7 and 9. Okay, I don't see any problem there. Seems to be a tough one, guys. For sure, it seems to be a really tough one. But I sense that this is what is going to give us progress, guys. I'm not sure why. Okay, let us just revisit the deduction we got. These two cells add up to 15 or 16. Am I missing a contradiction here? Oh, okay. This can't be 7 and 8, guys. I mean, we know that the possibilities in these two circles are, this is a little bit complicated. There may be sharper logic, but I'm going to use this. I'll try to explain as best as possible. So we know that these two circles can only be 6 plus 9 or 7 plus 8 or 7 plus 9. Can they be 7 and 8? 7 plus 8, I mean. So if they are 7 and 8, the 7, 8 in this row goes here and that becomes a 6 and 9, right? And now if you look, you have 6, 7, 8, 9 here, you have 6, 7, 8, 9 here, and which basically means that you need to have 6, 7, 8, 9 in these three cells using classic rule, right? 6, 6, 6, 9, 9, 9, 7, 7, 7 and 8, 8, 8, which means that this is beautiful. So which means that if we have eliminated one of the possibilities or one of the combination of digits that can occur here. So it's not 7 and 8, it's either 6 and 9 or it is either 7 and 9, which means that 9 must be in those circles. Beautiful, right? So The deduction can be summarized this way. You cannot uh, form a sum possibility without a 9 in these two cells, because if you don't have a 9 here, you need to have 7 and 8. There is only one choice. 6 and 8 would give you 14 max. So if you don't have a 9 here, it has to be a 7 and 8. And the moment you have a 7 and 8, this becomes a 6 and 9, and that is going to give us a contradiction due to classic. Tough one, guys. So this basically means that 9 must be in one of these two cells, and 9 is already here, so which means 9 is in one of these two cells. This can't be a 9, this can't be a 9, that has to be a 9. F reduction. So that is not a 9, so that's 6, 7, 8. And 9 is in these cells, 9 cannot be in the arrows, 9 has to go here. Only one possible cell. So it's 9 and 6 or 9 and 7. 8 can't be here. We can remove the 8 from these cells. Okay, because we got the 9 here, we are certain that 8 cannot be in this circle, in this arrow, because that gives a 9 here. So which means that 8 must be in one of these two cells. Of course, 8 cannot go in those arrows, right? And 8 cannot go here. We have a quadruple here. So this is not an 8. Superb. So which means that this would be an 8. And that becomes a 7 now, an 8 now. Superb, guys. What a start to the Sudoku. One of the best arrows I've solved in a long time. So that gives an 8 here. And we have a triplet now, right? So 7 here, removes the 7 from this cell. That's 6 and 9. Ah, nice, guys. This is really nice. So now you have to ask yourself the question, where can 7 go here? And if you think a little bit, 7 can only go in this cell, because 7 cannot be in these 5 cells, right? Because 7 plus minimum sum will be 10, so 17. Of course, we know that this is 15 or 16. We have already eliminated 17. And now 7, can 7 be here? Not possible again. You have a quadruple, so this is not 7. So 7 basically has only one possible cell left. That has to be this, which means that this would be 8, because this is in the circle. That becomes 1. So no 1 there. There is a 1 here, there is a 1 here, so that's a 1. So I've got almost everything now. So this should be really doable. Okay, this is beautiful, guys. So this cell is powerful now. This cannot be a 6. And now which means that 6 becomes part of the arrows. And we already have 1, 2, 3 and 4 there, which basically means that we get our fifth digit and the total. So these 5 cells are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Superb. This is superb, guys. Really superb. The layers of logic are really interesting. So you have 16 from these cells, which means that these two add up to 16. So they must be 7 and 9. 6 can be eliminated. That's a 9. That's a 7. That's a 6. That is 9. That is 6. Superb. So when you have a 6 here, this immediately becomes a 1, 2 and 3. There is no other possibility. And that gives a 1 here using classic. So there is an 8 here, there is an 8 here, and a 7 here and a 7 here. So which means that these two cells must be 7, 8 using classic. And of course, only 8 can go in the arrow. So that's 8. That's a 7, and that has to be a 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. Okay, now this 9 can be satisfied, right? Uh, there is only one possible way to get to the sum. You need to have 6 in these cells, right? If you don't have 6, you can't reach 9. So this would be 3 and 6. And this basically becomes 1, 2, 4. This would have to be a 5. The 5 goes here. Okay, there is an 8 9 here, so 8 9 goes in these three cells. 9 cannot be part of the arrow, so 9 is removed from here. So if I have an 8 here, this becomes 9, that has to be a 1, and I don't see a problem with that. Okay, you have 6 here, which means that this cannot be 4 and 5, so that would be 1 and 2, right? So 7 in column 8 has only 2 cells left. 7 can go only in these 2 cells. And in box 1, 7 cannot be here. So 7 goes in these 3 cells. And that gives a 7 there. Nice. So a bit of a classic there. And I think I can fill in the pencil marks in column 8. And if I look at box 7, 7 9 cannot be in row 8. So 7 9 goes here. And 9 cannot be part of the arrow stem. So that's 7 9. Okay, I can't have 7 here as well, because if you have 7 here, the minimum sum from these 3 cells become 10, 7 plus 3. So 7 is also eliminated from there. So that's a 7 9 pair. And I can't have 7 here, because if you have 7, then these 2 cells must add up to 7, which is not possible clearly. Can't be 1 plus 6, cannot be 2 plus 5, and cannot be 3 plus 4. All are ruled out, so that's a 9. So that becomes a 7, and which means that this would have to be 3 and 6. No other possibility. That becomes a 5 and 8. And 5 is ruled out from here, so that's 3 4. 5 goes in one of these cells. Because you have 6 here, that's not a 6. And you have a 6 9 pair now. That's beautiful. Really gorgeous Sudoku. This is a 6 9, and that can be resolved. So that's a 6, that's a 9. And the 9 in these 3 cells would have to go here now. And of course, this can't be 8 now, because 9 is ruled out from there. So that would have to be 8. And these 2 cells add up to 8. Can't be 2 plus 6 obviously. So they are either 1 plus 7 or 3 plus 5. 7 is in these 3 cells, so this is not 1 plus 7. That's a 5, that's a 3. These 2 cells are 1 and 2. And 5 8 can be resolved because of this. That's 8 and that's 5. Okay, 5 goes here in column 5. We have a pencil mark of 5, so 5 goes there. Oops. And 5 goes here using classic. And now pencil marks in row 2 gives us this, and quickly writing pencil marks in box 2, we get a 2 3 4 here, and you have 2 3 here, so that has to be a 4, and these 2 cells must be 2 and 3. Okay, 3 can be placed in this arrow, so that's a 3, right? So which means that these 2 cells must add up to 6, either 1 plus 5 or 2 plus 4. Okay. Okay, I can write in the digits here 5 8 9 1 2 3. So these would be 4 6 and 7 for the box, which means that this would be 2 3, right? That completes the row. You have a 2 3 4 triplet, so these would be 6 8. 7 is not here using classic. 6 is not here using classic. And this would be 4 plus 5, 6 plus 3, or 7 plus 2. 3 is ruled out, so 6 is ruled out. So you have a 4 7 pair. Nice. So that's a 6. And that becomes 6 8 9 3 5 7. This would be 1 2 4. Okay, you look at these cells, they add up to 6, so that it's either 5 plus 1 or 2 plus 4, right? And now we have a quad here, 1 2 4 5 quad, so which means that these two cells must be 7 8. Because of this 8, you get an 8 here and a 7 here, you get a 7 here and a 4 here, that becomes a 2 now, which means that this is a 1, that is a 2, you have 1 2 here, so that's a 4, that has to be a 5, which means this is 1, because these add up to 6, so that's a 1, that's a 4, that's 1 for the column, that's 2, and we are racing through the Sudoku now. This 2 gives a 2 here and a 1 here, so that becomes 1 2 pair, right? You have 1 and 2 here, so that becomes 1 2, which means this is a 1, that is a 2, and that gives a 4 for this arrow, 1 6 9 2 7 8, so this would be 3 4 and 5, 4 5, that's a 3, that's a 5, that's a 4, this 3 resolves this 2 3 pair, that 2 gives a 3 here, a 4 here, a 2 here, that gives a 3 here, a 6 here, a 3 here, 1 2 3 5 7 8 9, so this would be 4 and 6, and this would be 1 and 2, and you have 1 to resolve that, so that's a 1, that's a 2, this 3 gives a 3 here, a 6 here, a 6 here, a 4 here, this would be a 2, 1 2 3 8 6 7 9, so that's a 4, that's a 5, and that has to be 8, that's a 6, 2 3 6 1 4 7 9, so that would be 5 8 for this column, and that would be the final two digits. And with that, we have completed this beautiful arrow Sudoku by Pjot Orvi, an author whose Sudokus we haven't covered previously on the channel. It was really excellent. The start logic was amazing, and it had every ingredient to make your day a really better one. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any video from us. Thank you for watching. We hope to catch you again with a video. Bye bye.